Good morning, students. Welcome to online class. Hope you are keeping well by the grace of God. So, guys, once again I am with you, and today I am going to teach you History, Chapter 3, Ruling the Countryside. The heading is Ruling the Countryside. In my previous lecture, I taught you Chapter 2, Trade to Territory. And in my previous lecture, I told you that how East India Company they entered India through the passage of Bengal. That time the contemporary Nawab was Shirazuddaulah, and Battle of Plassey took place in 1757, and Shiraz he was badly defeated by British troop, and later on he was killed by the British force, and then the British they could establish themselves as traders, and gradually they were proceeding towards other territories. So here in this chapter, Ruling the Countryside, chapter 3, countryside means the village or rural place. So guys, there are three segments still, but one segment that is totally abolished, but other segments are there. So there were three segments in the rural areas or villages. If you proceed as the ascending order, then first the villages, that means the peasants, second the headmen of the villages, and the third they were the landlords or the zamindars. So East India Company they were getting fund from Britain for their maintenance, for maintaining their force or army, for their expenditure, everything that time Britain was sending them. But later on, East India Company they started thinking that how long this process will sustain. So they decided one settlement, and this settlement or this procedure it was led by Lord Clive at that time. You can say that he introduced this system of settlement. What settlement? That is, the hierarchy was going on. That means the villagers, the headmen, the zamindars. So this hierarchy, on the basis of this hierarchy, a settlement took place between the countryside people and the company, that means the East India Company. What they were doing, the company, the main motive of the company was to collect tax from the villagers or from the countryside. So they had to pay the tax for that, for their land. So how the British will collect or extract tax from them, that was the settlement. And a deal was signed between the company and the zamindars or landlords. According to this settlement, East India Company they will collect revenue from the villagers through zamindars. So zamindars they were to collect the tax from the villagers or the farmers. The only motive of East India Company was to collect the tax or to extract revenue from the villagers. Who will be responsible for that? The zamindars or the landlords were responsible. So you can easily imagine that how zamindars used to collect the tax. Definitely not in a very modest manner, because the tax the zamindars had to pay to East India Company. So they used to extract tax from the villagers with very harsh or rude manner. First of all, the zamindars were pressurized by the company, and the zamindars were pressurizing the villagers, to pay the tax or the farmers to pay the tax. So this process or series of process, it was going on. Then East India Company, they started thinking that they were not getting sufficient tax or adequate tax from the zamindars. So they started pressurizing the zamindar to increase the tax. But it was not possible because already a contract or deal, it has been signed. So there was no option. Whatever the tax the zamindars, they were paying to the company, they were accepting. So now what happened? That in the period of 5 years, I'm reading, just listen carefully. In the period of 5 years, the company started earning a double, and company was having a huge benefit. What if, just look at this matter. Just focus on this point, that the company, they were saying that tax is not sufficient. But according to the peasants or according to zamindars, it was quite adequate money. That means the revenue was quite adequate. They knew that adequate. And during that time, the company also, East India Company also, they also knew that it was sufficient. Huge collection was there. The zamindars, because they were responsible for the collection of tax, they were collecting huge fund, that means money from the villagers, from the peasants or farmers, and they were paying as revenue to the company. But here in these lines it is mentioned that in the period of 5 years, 5 years span of time, the company started earning a double, and the company was having a huge profit or benefit. What happened? Because the peasants, the poor farmers, they had to pay tax. That means the tax was quite high according to them. They were starving. They were on starvation. They were compelled to pay the tax. As consequence, 1770, a huge famine took place in Bengal. And as a result, approximately 10,000 people died. At that time, 10,000 people. Because that time population was not like the current state. That means now India is having 135 crores. But that time it was not like this. But according to that period, that means according to 18th century, 10,000 people, that means a huge quantity. People died. So the British inculcated that, what they started inculcating, that huge quantity of people already died. That means many peasants, farmers, those were workers, those used to work in the field, they died. So quantity was less. So anyhow they had to manage with the remaining quantity of people. So what did they do? They imposed tax more high. The amount was more high. An intense economic crisis, the zamindars, the villagers, they had to face during that time. Economic crisis emerged during that time. So, but the zamindar, they had the sole responsibility to collect the revenue from the villagers by hook or crook. What was a method? nothing to do with it, but they had to collect the revenue and to pay the company. So according to the zamindar and the villagers or farmers, the amount was too high. They were unable to pay. The farmers were unable to pay. According to the settlement, it was not possible for them to pay more amount as tax. The zamindars also became helpless, and an intense economic crisis the zamindars also simultaneously they were facing, and many zamindars or landlords, they started selling their land. Even the zamindars also started selling their lands because they could not pay the tax to the company. So guys, today up to here, I don't want to proceed for more because point wise I think you have heard my teaching, you have listened to my teaching today, so I don't want to pressurize you this much. The title is ruling the countryside, that means the village, and the three segments of the village in ascending order. First the villagers or peasants, second the headmen of the villages, and the third the zamindars, and then the revenue, collection of revenue. And meanwhile Britain, they had stopped paying money as gold or cash from Britain to East India Company for their maintenance of army or their expenditure. So anyhow they had to manage their own expenditure. So how they would manage? Lord Clive, when Lord Clive was there as the governor or East India Company, he only introduced this settlement, and it is according to his suggestion one settlement took place between the company and the countryside people, and they had to sign it. It was a settlement or deal, they had to sign it, and according to the deal the zamindars were to take the tax from the villagers, and the revenue they had to pay to East India Company. So here 1770 a fatal famine took place. Approximately 10,000 people died, and the situation became more worse, and villagers, simultaneously zamindars, they were facing an intense economic crisis. Many people died on starvation, died in hunger. But East India Company, they increased the amount of the tax within 5 years span of time. And this much of today. So guys, on the basis of today's lecture, I am going to give you 5 questions only.